The Beaches podcast is going to give you everything you want to know about a beach before you go there. I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to check out our website, www.sandee.com. Without further ado, let's get into the show.
Okay, so an Illinois beach trip, huh? Not exactly the first thing that pops to mind for a beach vacation. You've definitely piqued my interest with this deep dive request.
Right. It's definitely a bit outside the box, but
Yeah.
hey, that's what makes these deep dives fun, right?
Absolutely. So let's see what we've got here. Illinois beaches, architecture, local cuisine, even some questions about, well, we'll get to that. Looks like someone did their homework.
It seems like it. And they're not just skimming the surface either. They're looking for the real hidden gems.
Exactly. So, first things first, Illinois beaches. Most people think ocean, but you've got some interesting lakefront options highlighted here.
Yeah, and this is where it gets interesting. We're not just talking about sandy shores, but also the unique cultural experiences these towns offer. For instance, Evanston, right on Lake Michigan.
Evanston. Okay, I'm seeing some notes here about their lighthouse. The Grosse Pointe Lighthouse.
That's the one.
Right.
Built back in 1873, it's got that classic architectural charm. And get this, you could actually climb to the top.
Oh, that's what I call a view. I bet you could catch some amazing sunsets from up there.
Oh, absolutely. Talk about a perfect way to end a day exploring the town. Speaking of which, Evanston isn't just about lighthouses. They've got a real charming downtown area, too, if I'm remembering correctly.
You are. Lots of little boutiques and cafes. Definitely gives you that quaint small town vibe. But then you've also got Chicago right there. A quick hop away with a completely different energy.
Exactly. And speaking of Chicago, our intrepid researcher here seems pretty interested in the music scene, which makes sense.
Yeah, Chicago and blues music, it's iconic. Hard to resist the allure of catching a live show in one of those legendary clubs.
For sure. Imagine spending the day exploring Evanston, then hopping over to Chicago for some soulful blues as the sun sets. Talk about a perfect day. Although I guess it wouldn't be a complete experience without digging into the local food scene, too.
Ah, now you're speaking my language. And it looks like our listener has a taste for the finer things in life. I'm seeing notes on everything from deep dish pizza to craft breweries.
Illinois got it all. Don't forget those farm-to-table spots, too. Really fresh and local ingredients. It's a foodie's dream.
Okay, so we've covered beaches, architecture, music, and food. Sounds like this Illinois trip is shaping up to be pretty amazing.
Absolutely. But there is one more thing we need to address.
Right. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Nude beaches in Illinois. Now, this is where things get a bit tricky.
Yeah, definitely not as straightforward as some of the other topics. While it's great to be curious and adventurous, it's really crucial to be mindful of local laws and customs.
Exactly. And I know it can be a bit of a minefield, different rules and regulations everywhere you go.
Absolutely. What might be considered acceptable in one place could be a big no-no somewhere else. It's always best to err on the side of caution and do your research beforehand.
Couldn't agree more. It's all about being respectful and responsible wherever your travels may take you.
Exactly. And honestly, with all the amazing things Illinois has to offer, the beaches, the architecture, the food, the music, I think it's safe to say you can have an incredible time without venturing into legally ambiguous territory.
I think that's great advice. So to sum it up, an Illinois beach trip can be so much more than just sun and sand. It's a chance to explore charming towns, immerse yourself in history and culture, and indulge in some incredible food and music.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Remember, sometimes the most memorable trips are the ones that take you off the beaten path.
Absolutely. And on that note, here's a final thought for our listener as they continue planning their adventure. Have you considered looking into boat rentals?
Oh, now that's a fantastic idea. Imagine spending an afternoon out on the water, taking in the sights and sounds of Lake Michigan.
Pure magic, right. All right, folks, that about wraps up this deep dive. Remember, plan carefully, be respectful, and most importantly, have an incredible time exploring all that Illinois has to offer.
Thanks for listening to the show, and be sure to tune in next week for your favorite episode about some of the best beaches and beach information in the world.